virtual disk template is a template for building a VM from its virtual disk, the VHD file. You can create a virtual disk template with a capture command in the portal. You'll see this command when you look at the properties of the OS disk for a VM VHD file. The capture command is similar to a command you would run in Windows, perhaps, to turn a VM into an image, which could then be used as the basis or a template for a new VM. When you run the capture command in the Azure portal, it does render the original VM unusable. So you need to make sure that you don't intend to use the original VM after. When you create this template, it places the new VM image in the shared image gallery. And then this image just becomes an image that you can use as the basis for a new VM. This is very much like going to the Azure Marketplace and choosing one of the VM images that you see there. So those just become the template or the basis for a VM that's created that has a certain OS and maybe certain software already installed on it. In fact, if you have custom software that you need to run on a VM, one of the ways to automate recreating that VM over and over is to actually create the virtual disk template. So you first set up the VM like you would from the marketplace, install your custom software on it as you would normally if you were going to run it as is, and then you capture the VM image. At that point, you now have your own private little marketplace, the shared image gallery, that contains a VM image that can be used as the basis for the VM. When you create a VM based on that image, it'll already have the software that you custom install. So this can be a great way to template a VM so that you can build it or deploy it over and over. So let's look at an example of how to set up a virtual disk template in the Azure portal. To capture a VM image on an Azure VM, find it in the portal, and on the overview blade, click Capture. If the VM is currently running, it'll be shut down automatically when you capture the image. By default, Azure will create a shared image gallery or let you choose an existing shared image gallery. This is just a collection of VM images that you can use to share images around. The image gallery can replicate the different regions. If you want to make that choice, you fill out this screen accordingly. I'm going to scroll back up and choose No, in which case all I need to specify is the name of the image. This will be created as a separate Azure resource. Notice on a Windows VM, I must have used sysprep generalize before I capture an image. And the warning here states, and it's real, if you haven't done that, the VM created from the image won't start. I'll click Review and Create. Create the image. Notice as you're stopping the VM, it'll create the image after that. I'll pause the video here and we'll come back after and look at what you can do with the VM image. So the capture is done. I'll go to the resource. From here on the overview blade, I can create VM. Now the steps shown here are the same as the steps for creating a VM in the portal, except this will use the VM image from my customized VM. If I scroll down to the image here, you can see that the image chosen is the one that I created.